Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. Glad you got on the mat. I'm here. It's hard to get here, but here we are. So, I'm gonna work a little bit on the core today because after all the Halloween candy I ate last night and this morning, I feel like I need a little bit of work here. So, hop onto your mat and come to child's pose and we'll get started. I'm gonna take my knees as wide as the yoga mat. Taking my arms out long. If this is not comfortable for you, you can always take your knees underneath you and rest in child's pose to get started. Engaging through your shoulder blades here and your shoulders. Bringing your third eye to the mat, melting your heart toward the mat. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today and meeting me on the mat. I know it's hard to get here, so just coming to the mat is a feat in itself. There's kids playing football outside, so I hope they're not too loud. And you can't hear them too, and you're able to relax into the mat. On your next inhale, we begin to round through, coming through for a cow pose, shining our heart toward the ceiling, and then rounding through for cat as we exhale. Stretching through the side body. On your next inhale, switch directions. Inhale, come to center, plant your palms right underneath your shoulder blades here, and we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to take our left palm and open it up toward the left fingertips toward the sky, and then exhale, we will put it through, thread it right through our right arm. Bring your shoulder and our head to the ground. You can take your right arm overhead, or you can place it at your sacrum for a little bit of a deeper stretch here. Breathing into this twist. On your next inhale, begin to unravel, bringing your right palm back to the mat if it wasn't already there. Open back up to the left. Then plant your left palm, open up to the right, and then thread the right arm through the left, bringing our left arm overhead or to our sacrum. Begin to unravel, bringing our left palm back to the mat, opening back up, and then planting our right palm, bringing our knees under our hip points. We're going to send our right leg long and then lift it up. We're going to do some pulses here, shining our elbows toward the front of the mat, gripping into the mat to save our wrists, and then we'll do some baby pulses here. Making sure our toes are dialed down toward the mat. Both hip points are toward the mat, making sure you're not dumping into the left, but pointing both hip points down bend at the knee, bringing our foot parallel to the ceiling, and we'll do 20 pulses here. And then start to bring your right leg out parallel to the side, like in a fire hydrant pose here, like you're a dog, and then back down. Shake it off. If you need to come off your wrist for a little break, you can come here, maybe do some wrist circles, and then we'll hop into the other side. Bringing our hands to the mat, extending through our left leg, taking it out long, making sure those toes are dialed down toward the mat, shining our elbows toward the front of the mat, gripping with those fingers, start to baby pulse with the left leg, engaging through the core. And 20. Bending at the knee. We'll do 20 baby pulses with our foot parallel to the ceiling. (17, 18, 19, and 20. Bringing our leg out. Ooh, you got this. And lower it all. Sit back for child's pose. Great job. Hope you can feel your glutes turning on. Your core is turned on. Burning some of the calories from that candy that you might have just consumed. Like me. Press on back up through. And we're going to take our hands and place, or we're going to take our elbows and place them where our hands were, making sure that our arms aren't splayed out. Maybe taking our hands and grabbing each elbow. Make sure that you can reach each. Planting our palms on the ground, or our hands can be in fists. And then coming out for a forearm plank. Making sure we're not sinking in or having our butt up too high, but keeping it nice and low, toning those abs. You got this. One more breath. Inhale in. And exhale, drop the knees. Take a rest. Bringing our right elbow into the center, turning our right palm facing the left. We're going to come into a side forearm plank here. You can always come into a supported plank as well. Trying to get you off the wrists a little bit here. So what you're going to do is bring your shoulder or your elbows underneath your shoulder here, and we'll open up for a side plank to the left. The left fingertips are up at the ceiling. Maybe you come into tree. Maybe you raise your leg. One more breath. Inhale in, exhale. Switch sides. You can always take a break in the middle if you feel like you need to. Coming to child's pose, or go straight to the second side. Coming to our left elbow, opening up, keeping those hips high. Opening up to the right with our right fingertips toward the ceiling. You got this. Inhale in here. Exhale, plant both elbows. Taking your palms underneath your head. Resting in crocodile pose. Catching your breath, tucking the toes, pushing up for our first down dog. Pedal it out here, stretching through the hamstrings. Spiraling those upper arm bones up toward the ceiling. Maybe come to your toes, then sink back through your heels toward the mat. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, hop or float or step to the top. Inhale, we'll halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms and step or hop back to plank or half plank. And belly to cobra or chaturanga to up dog. And we'll meet in down dog. If at any time you want to skip a vinyasa, you can always go to a child's pose or meet us in down dog. Inhale, right leg raises. Exhale, step through your hands and rise up for a crescent lunge. You can always come to a low lunge if that's more comfortable for you as well. Knitting those ribs down, front knees over front ankle. Inhale in here. Exhale, we'll take our hands to the mat, bending through that left leg, untucking the toes, sending our right heel forward and coming for half splits. Making sure that we're pulling back that right hip crease. Those toes are pointed toward our face. Micro bend in that right knee. Inhale to find extension. Exhale, fold over that right leg. Inhale, we'll plant the left palm and open up for dragonfly. You can always have your back knee lower or lifted for this. Inhale in here, and exhale, we'll plant your right palm on the inside of your right foot and start to heel toe your foot out to the right for a lizard variation here. Hands can be on the mat, or you can start to come down, stretching through that right hip, opening it up, coming to your forearms. Back knee can be lowered or lifted. On your next inhale, push up with your palms and send both of your sets of toes pointing toward the right side of the mat. We'll come up for a horizon lunge here. Arm can be up overhead. You can bend deep into your back leg, or you can stay risen up here. Inhale in and exhale. Start to pivot back through that front foot, planting your palms, bringing your front foot through the middle of your palms, stepping back, and find your vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. Inhale, left leg raises. Exhale, step through your hands. Rise up for crescent lunge. Woo! Crescent lunge on the left side. I wore heels for trick-or-treating yesterday. that was not a great plan. Walked about 2.5 miles in the heels. My feet are not feeling the greatest right now. Front knee is over front ankle. Back knee lower or lifted. Inhale in, exhale, plant the palms. Lower the back knee, untuck the toes. Bring your heel forward for your half splits. Pulling back through that left hip crease here. Your inhale, find extension. Exhale, fold through. Inhale in. Start to bring back your left foot. Plant your right palm. Open up for a dragonfly twist to the left. Left fingertips are up toward the ceiling. Back knee is lowered or lifted. Inhale in. Exhale, plant your left palm on the inside of your left foot. Heel toe your left foot over a bit. And then start to come down for a lizard variation, or you can stay on your hands. Stretching open through that left hip. Back knee is lowered or lifted here. Whatever feels most comfortable for you. Breathing into that hip crease. Your next inhale, plant your palms. Begin to turn all of your toes toward the left. And we'll come into a horizon lunge toward the left. Remember, you can always be here. Inhale in, exhale, start to heel toe that foot back to center, plant your palms, and step back and find your vinyasa. And meet us in down dog. Find your breath. Inhale, right leg raises. Exhale, step it through, pivot on the back foot, and rise up for warrior one. Front knees over front ankle. Adjust your stance so that your pelvis is neutral, facing forward. Arms aren't at your ears, but there's a nice wide base here for you. Knitting those ribs down, engaging your core. Inhale in, exhale, we'll begin to hinge at your hips here and come through for a pyramid. You can always bring blocks. Mine are right there, I don't have them. You can always come to pyramid with your hands here, or you can keep your hands on your hips hovering as well. Or you can bring your hands to the mat, keeping a slight micro bend in your right knee. Your inhale, find extension. Exhale, come through. Your next inhale, begin to come back up for warrior one. And then maybe begin to come up on your left toes here, bringing your arms behind you, coming out for your warrior three, dialing your back toes down toward the mat. I have airplane arms here. You can have your arms up in front of you as well. Bringing our body kind of like to a T here. Making sure our pelvis is neutral toward the mat. Inhale in. Exhale, begin to fold forward for standing splits. Bringing your left leg up. Maybe you take your right hand around your right leg, bringing your nose to knee. If you cannot do this, that is fine. You can just come to mountain pose. On your next exhale, begin to come unravel and bring your left foot to meet your right. Sit low and rise up into chair pose. Sinking your weight into your heels here. Arms up overhead. Inhale in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms. Step back for plank or half plank and find your vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. Inhale, left leg raises. Exhale, step it through. Pivot on the back foot and rise up for warrior one. Find your stance here. Front knees over front ankle. Knitting those ribs down, engaging the core. Inhale in. Exhale, begin to straighten through the front leg. Hinging at the hips for pyramid pose. Bring your hands to the mat or blocks. Inhale, find extension. Exhale, fold. Your next inhale, rise back up to warrior one. And begin to come through your right toes. Maybe launching up for warrior three. Dialing those right toes down toward the mat. Pressing into all four corners of your left foot. Inhale in, exhale, bring your hands down, finding standing splits on this side. Begin to come out of that, bringing your right knee to, or your right foot to meet your left, and sinking into your heels for chair pose. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Finding that Ujjayi breath. Inhale in. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms, find your vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. Find your breath. Inhale, right leg raises. Exhale, step it on through. Pivot on the back foot. Rise up for warrior two. Right fingertips are out straight. Front knees over front ankle. Your knee's not bending in, but it's tracking over the second or third toe here. Knitting your ribs down, engaging your core. Inhale, flip the palm and reverse your warrior. Gaze is up toward the ceiling if that's okay with your neck. Inhale in, find warrior two. You're going to bring your hands to your hips. Opening up through your feet, or actually closing in through your feet. Dialing your toes toward the left side of the mat. We'll find a wide-legged forward fold to the left. So begin hinging at the hips. If you're here today, that's fine. If not, maybe you can bring your hands to the mat. Maybe you widen your stance a little more, bringing the crown of your head toward the mat. Does not have to touch. Maybe you bring your hands to your calves or your ankles. Making sure you're not locked out through the knees. There's a gentle bend there. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your right palm in the center of the mat and begin to open up through the left side. Inhale in, exhale, switch. Opening up through the right side. Right palm is up toward the ceiling. Inhale in, exhale, plant both palms, lower. And we'll begin to inch our feet back in if you need to, hinging back at the hips, raising back up, turning those front toes toward the front of the mat, pivoting on the back foot, coming down for a low lunge, shining our heart up, open here. Planting the palms and finding your vinyasa. And meeting in down dog. Inhale, left leg raises. Exhale, step it through. Find your warrior two to the right side. Front knees over front ankle, knitting those ribs down. Arms nice and wide. Gaze is over our left fingertips. Inhale, flip the palm, reverse your warrior. I'm just gonna take my hair out here, because it's already falling out. Inhale, find warrior two again. Sinking through that front leg. Making sure our back toes are at a 45-degree angle. Pressing into the knife edge of the back foot. Inhale in, exhale, straighten through the front leg and begin to turn your toes toward the right side of the mat, hinging at the hips, finding our wide-legged forward fold toward the right. Making sure our toes are turned slightly in. Maybe reaching our palms underneath our legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plant the right palm and open up to the left. Inhale in, exhale, plant the left palm, open up to the right. Inhale in, plant both palms and begin to walk around to the front of the mat, bending through the front leg, pivoting on the back foot, finding our low lunge here. Planting the palms, stepping back, finding your vinyasa. We're going to come into pigeon pose here. So if pigeon is not accessible to you, you can always come into a figure four stretch on your back. by placing your right leg on the top of your left knee and pulling through the back of your left leg, just like this, and stretching through that right hip crease. If you don't feel like a traditional pigeon is an option for you. Inhale, right leg raises. Exhale, step through and bring your right knee to your right wrist here, making your right shin as parallel to the front of the mat as you can. You can always stick a block underneath your right hip here if that's more comfortable. Stretching up through, then beginning to fold forward, bringing your forearms to the mat, maybe bringing your head toward the mat. We'll be here for a minute or two. Stretching through that right hip crease. Should feel sensation but never pain. If there's pain, bend into your leg a little bit more, your right leg. Bring your heel a little bit more toward your body. Each time you breathe in, fill up your lungs. And as you breathe out, send the breath to where you feel the most sensation. Making sure you're letting any tension that you have or that you're holding, just let it all go. Notice if you're gripping anywhere. Let it go. Begin to push back up through our hands here. Inch our left toes up, in, and then tuck the toes, and we'll come back for our down dog before we take this to the left. Inhale, left leg raises. Exhale, step it up through. Bring our right leg long. Left shin as parallel to the top of the mat as possible. It might just be here, and that's fine. Don't do anything that'll make you hurt. Inhale, press up through your fingertips. Exhale, start to come through. Remember, if you feel any pain, back off on the stretch. Sending your breath to where you feel sensation. Careful not to grip anywhere. Just let it all go. Inhale, fill up your lungs and feel that nice stretch through the back body. As you exhale, try to let go of a little more tension. next inhale, begin to push up through your hands, tucking your right toes, coming up for your down dog. Begin to come through plank, lowering the knees, coming back on the mat. I'm going to come to the middle of the mat. You can stay wherever you would like on the mat. And I'm going to come to a wide-legged seat here. Bringing my legs out nice and long. You can have a block in front of you. Sorry, I don't have mine. It's just so far away. Oh. I keep getting into the postures and then forgetting to grab the block. Making sure our feet are nice and active. Beginning to just fold forward as much as possible, keeping both of your sit bones rooted to the floor or the mat. Making sure our back is nice and long. Each time you inhale, fill up those lungs. Exhale, see if you can fold a little bit deeper. Bringing your chest to the mat. It doesn't have to touch. Mine's definitely not there yet, but it's way further than it was before. That is for sure. As I practice, I just keep getting a little more flexible than I was the day before. And you'll notice that as you begin to just let your tension go, you might be able to sink a little deeper into the posture. Now it would be nice to have my block here, but I can just take my hands and make two fists and put my forehead right on those. Pressing back up, I'm going to bring my right leg in to a seated tree pose, if you will, here. Inhaling my arms up overhead, planting my left arm, bringing my right hand to my thigh, to my shin, to my foot, wherever it goes or can go. Making sure you're spiraling your heart open and not collapsed here. Getting a nice side body stretch through the left side. Inhaling in, planting the right palm behind you and opening up for a counter stretch. And exhale, come back through, extending through the left, or the right leg, bringing the left leg in. Inhaling, arms up overhead, planting the right palm, stretching through the left side body by grabbing your right toes, right foot, right shin, or maybe your arms just up overhead. Making sure that you're spiraling your heart up toward the ceiling so you feel a nice stretch here through the left side body. Your next inhale, plant your palm behind your left leg and open up for a little stretch or through your right side body. On your exhale, begin to come out of that, bringing your feet together for a cobbler's pose. You can have your hands on your feet, hands on your ankles here, sitting up nice and straight. You can begin to fold forward if that feels okay, but you don't have to. Making sure you're keeping that back nice and straight. Stretching through those hip creases. Inhale, back up. And we're going to come to lie on our back. Nice and slow, nice and easy. Bring our legs in, hugging them in. Should feel really good after all those hip stretches we just did. Just got one more hip stretch. Grabbing our outer feet, coming up for a happy baby. Pressing our tailbone toward the back of the mat. Pushing down on our feet with our hands and pushing back up into our hands with our feet, creating that tension there. Getting a nice stretch through the hips. Maybe rock side to side here. Getting to come back to that little ball. Hugging our left leg in, elongating through our right leg. Begin to take our right hand to our left knee, stretching open for a supine twist. Gaze is over our left fingertips, which are out at a T. Inhale, come back to center, hug your left leg in. Switch legs, hugging that right leg in. Maybe a few ankle circles here. Beginning to take that left hand to the right knee, opening up for your supine twist. Starting to come back to center, hugging that right leg in, sending it long, preparing for our final pose of Shavasana. Tucking our shoulder blades under our heart space, palms facing the ceiling. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze. Toes are splayed open, sinking deeply into the mat. Relaxing through all parts of your body. Finding stillness. Beginning to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll to one side, whichever side feels comfortable. pushing up through your palms, finding a comfortable seat. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. I hope it got your blood pumping and maybe you have a little more space to eat if you more Milky Way like I'm going to be doing after dinner tonight. So I hope you take this practice with you into the rest of your day and have a great day.